Radiant team ban.
The scrims though areas because instead of scrims, this team plays a lot of tournaments. Like just straight a lot of officials, a lot of the Eastern European up and
You
coming
have
teams.
10 seconds left.
You talked in the
ban.
previous panel about the fact that maybe this gives them more information. Now are you starting to also see the other side of the coin where it's like giving them confidence, experience? Are you seeing the value of D2CL, which you yourself?
Oh, without a doubt. I think it's something that other regions have had the advantage of. China in particular have always had iLeague and other tournaments. Southeast Asia's growing with BTS Pro Series, and now these tournaments in Eastern Europe. Now these tournaments coming in Eastern Europe, and like you said, I mean, they're just having the opportunity really to develop their identity, and they're looking really good.
We get now into the second draft. Once again, we see the IO ban. No surprise there. My question, though, this time will be, will they once again ban the Monkey King, or will it be the Weaver this time? Weaver didn't seem to have that much impact, but still scary here. I mean, I think the hero's broken, honestly.
I think Spirit maybe wants to switch it up and not have these weird... Like I was saying at the start, it was like a little bit of weird supports, right? The Jakiro plus the Weaver together. Maybe they want to switch it up from that. Hellraisers had more of these traditional supports.
Are they weird because in what way weird?
Weird in the way that they set up the roles. Because it was the Weaver 5 and then we had Jakiro 4, and I don't think Jakiro 4 gives you anything different than Jakiro 5. I think it's the same, but you're just not really... You're not taking up more space, you're not getting more farm, you're not getting like a big impactful item. You do the same from 5 as you do.
You have
Maybe
5 seconds
change
left.
something of that up. Like I said, I still like their draft last game. I think Hellraisers just outplayed the absolute hell out of them. But I think there's definitely adjustments to be after you see how much easier it was for Hellraisers to take fights. Like that's the adjustment of team fight that Aries was saying.
I was speaking a little bit about also through the season or the tour, the fact that a lot of teams have been banning out Mars and OD, or at least OD a lot through the first phase, and Hellraisers actually led it through the pool. Team Spirit have not first phase the OD. They have the opportunity to in the 6th and 7th, so see if they feel like this hero is as valuable to go for it early on.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, Beast ban, Mars ban, first pick Queen.
Oh, that's another hero popping up. Most people are calling one of the strongest mid. Temple Controller, Scales,
Kaya Sanjfire.
Yes, that's disgusting.
You have 10 seconds left.
Definitely ways to answer it now for Team Spirit. Like you can get strong lanes, whether it's the Puck and the Lina. That's kind of the two that I've seen being really good versus the Queen of Pain. Intimate push because Bane. Let's see if they do already go for at least a good matchup versus Rabel's Spot.
Because that one will be
what is
right? Like that one, I think has been only played mid also.
The Queen of Pain.
You have 10 seconds left.
Teams have been actually flexing as a 3.
As the 3,
games,
I saw, right?
Mind Games give it to Petashara as a 3, and they do also give it to position 1s as well sometimes. Watson has not played it.
I'm only throwing it out there because we just saw the switch up. I don't think that they're going to switch it this time. I think it's like 90% chance. I don't want to throw out percentages because I said this 65-35 last time. I think it's very likely that the Queen anyway still does go. It's the best lane for me. Otherwise, I think even though you're going to be into Lina, now you know your matchup. You can prep the other heroes to attack the Queen in case of anything.
Is the matchup Lina Queen? I mean, I know traditionally it's like Lina favorite, but it's now doesn't matter as much. Because I've heard a lot of people just talk about the fact that water runes make most mid matchup.
Farm depends on which one gets the small camp locked, right? I think we watch the supports to see if they sentry small camp. That kind of determined farm game. I think Lina does have a slight edge now.
You have 10 seconds left.
I think just the thing though is the fact that Pop is such a lane dominator and securing, like there's not many heroes that can lane into the Queen of Pain. So at least having someone that's able to go even is just a big advantage. Maybe it's not like 55, 45 or something like that. At least you now have a really good lane for Toronto, Tokyo, and you can play off that.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we'll probably see, like we did last time, we saw the Bane on Hellraiser's side check, I believe, the water rune, and he checked the 6 and the 8-minute rune. So we'll probably see something similar from Spirit. And I do want to actually absolutely mention that. We were talking about movement and just like speed from Hellraisers. It also was just control of runes. I think Rebel got every power rune. I actually don't remember getting. I think he maybe got one, but yeah, pretty much like every single power rune was in. That's another thing, right? Queen of Pain, you're likely to get most power runes. They seem to be really dominant lately.
You have
especially like
10
arcane
seconds
runes.
left. You have 5 seconds left.
Some insane mobility, great ganking potential, kicks in general. That's
No
also
stuns though.
something It's true. That's true. Can you abuse that as Team Spirit? Are there heroes that can? Like, could you ban something here and prepare for a hero that really abuses that?
I mean, they already played PL, so it's like you maybe don't want to go something down that route. Yutoro wants to play something different, probably because that's Yutoro, right? He's also another one of those carry players that plays like 14 different. I think him and Watson actually have 2 of the bigger carry pools.
Yeah, they do. Both Watson and Odo's hero pools is gigantic. And that's what
14 heroes or 15.
Just opens up the draft so much for both these teams. I like the Brood ban. Just one thing in particular. The boys on Team Spirit, at least the Bane in particular, don't deal with Brood at all. And again, to mention it, we saw Hellraisers in their previous series for Spirit in the Winter Tour. They picked the Brood in both those games.
You have 5 seconds left.
Making sure they cover their tracks to not be to cheese in this second.
Radiant team ban.
This Axe ban is kind of curious.
It's something I've been seeing a lot in Eastern Europe.
Starting to rise back in Europe. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
it is.
What was it in the leagues? Gambit kept trying to force it unsuccessfully, but tried it like 4 times or so. All losses on Melis.
Not from these 2 teams at all, right?
You have 5
I think Collapse
seconds
played
left.
once or twice in the league.
Yeah, played it once.
Okay.
Played it once. Slim
Because I don't remember. I don't remember seeing the Axe from here.
I know Limitless used to abuse the axe a little bit when he was on bait. It was the Darkseer Mars axe with the 3 heroes. Mind you, those win rates don't count because it was bait, so you guys don't know. But it is just an Eastern European flavor hero. A lot of people, when we interviewed them during DPC, told us the hero was underrated and people weren't seeing its value. So, you know, maybe they know something we don't. But all the other regions access a pretty poor win rate and also...
I mean, that's kind of what I watch a lot of Dota. I just can't. Lately, especially, I haven't been able to watch like specific regions. I just watch like every region. So I'm just trying to absorb much information as possible with that. And it's really interesting. Yeah, the Axe ban is really weird for me. The Brood ban 100% makes sense. I love it versus the ban and Lena for all the reasons that it out. And then I like this Void. That ban makes a lot of sense. You're playing with Queen of Pain and Weaver. These 2 are mobile heroes. Trying to get rid of any of these hard lockdowns, undispellables. So maybe that's why the Axe has gone too. Maybe they're just looking at these annoying heroes that if they do get the single disable off, there's no way to prevent it.
You have 5 seconds left.
Besides.
It's also kind of fast as an offlaner, right? Combined with Lena and Bane. Not too many, not cooldown dependent necessarily. Yep, pretty short. You have a really good ganking squad.
I'd see Spirit go for a Lion at the 15th. It's very, very value into the Queen of Pain Weaver. Like you guys were just speaking about the Void with how mobile Hellraisers are. And you want a little bit of extra like catch. Lena and Bane can't really, at least initiation I should say. So to be able to just jump in, start the fight. You know, Mira likes that hero a lot as well. So, and it's something that when you pick in the 15th, like it doesn't reveal too much. Now you've got answer picks later in the draft, so it's something they might consider.
Radiant team pick.
Like Liner, Willow could definitely be options. But, okay, Rubik, hero that I feel like I don't see too often, but since Weaver is so popular, it does make sense.
The Rubik fulfills a similar role to we were talking about the Lion, right? Instant disable, kind of a ranged, somewhat squishy support. I would say honestly, Lion was straight up better, but I agree. Versus the...
I'm always just iffy on Rubik, almost always. I think this hero is like super hit or miss. It's like he's either gonna have this really good game or he's gonna have like no game whatsoever. So we'll see which one it is. Because they're already setting themselves up for pretty squishy heroes, right? These 3?
Yeah.
Bane, Lena, Rubik versus Queen of Pain, ult plus a Sonic Wave, plus just a little bit of extra damage. Heroes will get first.
Oh.
Another one of those.
It's, of course,
super
a Melody special. And we mean, we saw the team fight be a big factor for Hellraisers in game 1. So now if Melody does get like a blink or something like that, you got a little bit of AoE
You
control,
have
follow
10
it up with
seconds
pop.
left.
Yeah, I mean,
You have 5
the
seconds
supports
left.
as well for us. Hellraisers are much more suited to the patch in the sense that like usually right now 4s are the ones that like cut lanes and they elongate as much as possible, and the 5s break smokes very often. And the Rubik and Bane can do that, but to a lesser extent. Definitely not as great as Weaver, and it seems like they're more on.
That's a strong lane. A lot of, that's a lot of damage coming out from the Hellraiser side, period. Queen of Pain, Luna, Weaver, Treant. Like, Treant, of course, not providing the most damage. He's going to be more of the control,
You
but
have 10
the other
seconds
three,
left.
they provide a hell of a lot. That's interesting. Does pick the Luna into
You
Rubik,
have
so I think
5
that actually makes
seconds left.
Rubik a little bit better for me, the last like 2 picks. Treant, Weaver, Luna, you got some pretty good spells to steal. If you can.
I feel like they also protected the Luna as well. Like, Phantom Assassin's not available, the Void's banned out. I don't know if you can Terrorblade with 4 ranged heroes then. So I'm surprised if they still go for Yadaro's pick here and leave Collapse till last. You already see the carry matchup, and you don't see the offlane, so enabling Collapse with the 24th.
It's like, does he just want PL again? It's like, he just lost with it though, but you're playing into like a root. There's not really like any disable coming out from Hellraisers. That's that root loosen.
They got rid of the other things right there. Okay, they're gonna go.
Okay. Luna, kind of short range hero. Caustic can still be annoying. Rubik Sanking can be a pretty weak lane though. I've seen a lot of times these Sankings, like if they don't, you know, they struggle like 2 levels or something, and then the enemy carry just refarms with denies if they have a sentry and let him go. Bit of a weak lane, I feel like.
Team ban.
They're very magic damage focused at the moment from Team Spirit. So if you go for like a hero on Limitless that can build potential pipe, I know that item is a little bit undervalued, but at least the hood to just put you on the front line, because it's very magic focused on Spirit. So now you're like forced to
You
go
have
for
10 seconds
someone who
left.
can at least do physical as the game goes on. I guess Lena can, like when you scale,
have 5
you're
seconds
fine
left.
dishing out physical damage throughout the later stages, but throughout the mid game, it's very magic focused on.
Now, Ares, what's a hero that
That's a great question.
You know which one it is? It's Underlord, but you never pick Underlord into Rubik. So
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, Pipe is atrocious.
I don't know. Could go Tide or something. Maybe you go for Magnus.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, Magnus is so bad. You have no way carry them. I don't know. I think
You
Tide,
have
maybe
10
Blink Pipe. I
seconds
don't know.
left.
But that still sounds bad. I don't know if there's many.
It really is
You
a
have
terrible
5
item right
seconds
now.
left.
Even Darkshires are building Orchid over Auras now.
That's it.
Dire team ban.
What do we feel like Hellraisers are lacking? I think they need initiation. Like, you got a Train Protector, but getting Blink as the game goes on, that's going to be quite late. So I think they're just looking for a hero for Limitless that can start fights.
But what stun would you pick, Eric? You have to pick some sort of.
You have 10 seconds left.
I mean, Tide's rough without knowing the carry
You
matchup.
have
They
5
banned
seconds
Razor, so it
left.
looks like they are still setting up for like your melee initiator. But regardless, if you go Tide, there's
Red
Ursa,
team
there's Monkey still in the pool. So
What
there's
Brewmaster?
really good hero.
Dire team pick.
Looks like it just won you over the top. Ah, there we
There we
go.
go.
Yeah, I was thinking like something that's just gonna we win team fight, right? Like right now I look and I'm like Spirit can win team fights pretty handily. I think Brewmaster kind of just, if I get Brew split off, I win fight. Like we're gonna go like Bane and Rubik aren't gonna do anything. Lena can't
You have 10
solo kill the
seconds left.
Brewmasters early. I like that Brew
You
actually.
have 5
There's also
seconds
like
left.
lockpick appeal on Terrorblade because Brew does really well with illusions now.
Yeah, the Dispel is incredibly I think it's something that's really overlooked a lot of the time still.
I guess you do have like a Weaver Brew that like to build Urn together, so not a huge fan having like double Urn builder.
Monkey King.
Choose
They do
your
get
hero.
Okay, they go the monkey.
I mean, it's good in lane against the Brew.
Yeah. Lane for Limitless again. Even though he made it work so well last time, I think Brew's different than Magnus though.
I Shukuchi to trigger Cinder Brew, right? Then you run away from the monk.
Yep.
Imagine.
Could
You
work.
Play around.
let's see, like, yeah, with depending on Drunken Brawler and stuff, let's see if he even levels it. I've seen a lot of variety from these players. I've seen sometimes the 0-2-1, 2-1 clap and stuff like that. Okay.
Can they
what are your
aggro?
final thoughts?
Oh.
Well,
Yeah, I'm seeing if they can aggro. Hang.
Then it gives
still not lane
collapse.
some- I want to hear the overall thoughts about the draft first before we get into the game. Well, what are you thinking?
I like this Monkey King pick a lot with at least how you're able to deal with the Brewmaster. I think Lena's going to scale really well with the mid matchup. It's difficult for Rabel. I think Team Spirit have much easier ways to start fights this game, but folks said the Brewmaster is going to be quite an issue through the team. Give a little bit of an edge to Spirit again, but I like the draft still from Hellraiser. I think it's even.
I'm not saying any percent.
You can just give me your.
No,
your final
I like
thoughts here.
I like the team fight from HR. I think that they did a really good job of like dictating pace with team fight. So I'm gonna lean on them a little bit more here. But I think this Monkey King might just get too outrageous. See if that's.
Will Monkey King get out of control, or will the slight leading with no numbers that Fog gave us give Hellraisers the
Are you
edge here
ready?
over Team Spirit? And I mean that would mean a 2-0, which would be incredible for Hellraisers in a finals. We're gonna have to see as we get into game number 2 between Team Spirit and Hellraisers with your casters Aries.
Yeah, folks, we got a game ready to rock and roll. Of course, Hellraisers with this game advantage here, and I tried to sneak in that question. You know, how do you feel of the potential tri-lane? I know it's something we don't see often anymore, but you were speaking about the Monkey King being a really good lane against the Brew. Like, is this something they could pull out? Hey, hang on, really gonna go down?
Scared to tri-lane. As much as I always want to say like, yeah, aggro tri-lane could work. You're also putting like, then it's like Brew in a 1v1 versus Sanking potentially. Like let's, if that's the one you're saying, right? You're saying if Hellraiser's aggressive, right? Then Brew versus
30
Sanking, I think
seconds to
Sanking
battle.
does way too well in that matchup. Well, I feel like this, I think Sanking can suffer. I think if they just leave it. Okay, we'll see which, let's see which offlaner has a better start. That's going to be a really indicating thing for me. Sanking's, I see a lot, honestly. Like, so many games, I'm like, man, it looks like an excellent Sanking game, and then he dies like 2-3 times pre-10 minutes, and he doesn't have an impact. Really.
The battle begins.
I mean, you were speaking about as well the Luna Treant Protector. That's a lane that can dish out a ridiculous amount of damage. So, do they just look to play the like creep cutting game, or okay, how do you actually play this lane to get a little bit out of it for collapse?
They have to just force it, like just keep shoving it in, pressure under it. I'm also surprised that they did put this Obs Ward. I do want to point it out bottom. Obs Ward directly almost in the lane, so I feel like that could just get almost instantly dewarded from a sentry. That's gonna give extra golden experience to HR. And we're gonna see HR, they're gonna do the same thing. Look at Maldi, right away throw out the grass to try to push the wave out, but he's not gonna be able to push it out nearly as fast. So Spirit, they're doing this the right way.
The grass like kind of missed the creep.
He missed. Yeah, he did it at a weird angle. Yeah.
That's right. It's early game 2. You're already seeing shoving the lane in, trying to get that early level 2. Mainly also get the creep equilibrium back in their favor as well.
This is something that's actually maybe could get annoying. Gilgar actually played it really nicely top. I'm just going to point out because it's a cool interaction, but the Cinder Brew, and then Gilgar invises and goes to run through Monkey King. Yotaro preemptively mid-shifts trying to die of damage. So Gilgar actually hesitated and then went. So he actually lit the Cinder Brew. So we have to see them playing around that interaction a bit. It just happened again. You see that? Yeah. So
I wonder, like, it's always nice having a hero that's easily able to take the Cinder Brew. You are against like 2 really strong laning heroes as well, so I don't know if I'm just getting too like the advantage. They need to get this D1 on the sentry. Okay, this is big at least for Hellraisers in the lane. Don't have their hard camp available. It's blocked by the sentry or not, so we'll see if Hellraisers can find that equilibrium, because I mean the Monkey King really wants to play with like full length of the lane to just continue stacking up the Jingu.
yeah. But again, I think HR have done both games, at least from what I wanted to see, even though I doubted them, especially to the Troll in the last game, these strong lanes, right? Like, I really just wanted them to pick some strong lanes, and that's kind of what they've done both times around now. Like, really strong setup of lanes. No lane is a losing lane. I guess except for the Magnus in the last game was a losing lane, but he recovered from, like, just from his plays. He didn't really need to have a lot of items.
It's just, I mean, we'll see if Limitless is able to get a little bit more farm this him and what he can do. I mean, it's kind of the Aghanims into the Refresher. Usually we don't kind of see a cheaper item to help him throughout the early stages. It's that rush really just to enable the team fight. But Spirit, they've got really solid team fighting in their own regard.
And they have Rubik, so it's like it's gonna be eyes on if he makes sure he covers his ult with the Drunken Brawler immediately after he splits, and all these other things too. It's eyes on Mira. He can do some really clutch plays, some really big steals this game. Bottom.
Soul Ring. We're seeing it a lot on the pretty much anyone. Doesn't even matter. Like I've seen Lena's go Soul Ring, which Yuri's got queued up, and speaking about the Lena, Toronto, Tokyo, having a reasonably good time at the moment. I like this build a lot though. Something I've been seeing a lot from the Queen of Pains when you can't utilize the dagger in the lane. It's just maxed out Scream. It's able to increase your farm, like you can take stacks, and the burst potential early is something that can take a lot of people off guard as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when you're playing versus, like, it's when you have a range disadvantage, you want to go for your Scream and you just play the farm thing. So Lena, of course, you have that range disadvantage, you're like 120 behind her, play the farm game to catch. Bottom, they actually did get the D ward, by the way. Just pointing.
Structures are
I think that's actually always really how much experience you get. He was able to get the last hit, and he tipped Mira because Mira missed it. So.
And you see the last hits from Watson. He's having a really good time. 22 and 5 compared to the 11 and 0 from Collapse. And with Luna having a kind of freeish time, what's going on? Beetle and Rabel just battling out.
He's stealing the bounty.
Radiant's courage
He's
is
gonna get his
displayed.
courage.
Such an outrage.
He did steal the opposing bounty rune though, so Rebel, he did move up and do that. We talked about it before the game started. We didn't talk about it when the game started, but we did see the sentry is blocking the Lena's camp. So that's why you see Toronto Tokyo not ahead, like 30 last hits. He's ahead, but not, you know, that Lena ahead, because he doesn't have access to those.
I think this is big. Something that, of course, we did see the nerf, yeah, Melody. Extra Burrow Strike stun for Collapse, and the Melody's just going to look to stand his ground. He knows he's going to end up dying, but maybe they can at least trade the kill. Watson gets a return onto Collapse, and continuing at least the strong start here for the Luna.
Bring out all that regen though on the tree. Positioning of the lane is going to be favoring HR still. Very tough still for Collapse to get much. And we're seeing Limitless now pulling ahead. So we kind of figured Saking would fall a bit behind. Well, let's see, if he dies again, that's where it's just absolutely like devastating. So we already see Collapse now. He's jungling the small camp. That's a little bit of a concern.
He's taking a lot of damage top, actually. Jingu to play with. Get a little bit of lifesteal back, and Miposhka. So it gives him an opportunity to retreat as well. But yeah, we are starting to see when Hellraisers can find these levels up top, they actually can, you know, combat versus the early aggressive lane that the Monkey and Bane can also.
Bottom is out of control, honestly. I was talking about how Collapse is gonna have to try to find something. I actually don't know if they can lane down here anymore. Luna's 5. So level 3 in aura. This Treant's hitting for 130 damage.
Sure.
2 points in, I actually like that he did the 2 points in Leech Seed. I know a lot of people switch it up, but I feel like when you're playing a hero that can actually utilize the heal, like a Wraith King, a Sven, a Luna, something that gets in close enough, the multiple points in Leech Seed just dominate the lane. So I think Spirit has to be really careful how they play down bottom now. They just end up giving up a bunch.
Going in now, Mira. More right clicks Watson. He's got the beam up in 3 seconds. It is only level 1, but it should give enough time for Melody to close
Lost
the
vision.
distance. Oh, he lost vision.
Fuel for my fire.
Mira, does he actually make it away now? Looks like he does. Poor Melody, a bit too slow to catch up. Last been a couple seconds. He's going for it.
And Collapse got a whole wave off of that, and the catapult. That's actually pretty huge. Just little things like that to be able to come back for your sake.
I mean, Poshka's protection though for Gilga. We saw Toronto Tokyo posturing to maybe get that extra little bit of damage to bring down the Weaver. They did do a lot of damage to the tower though. That was catapult timing, and this is a nice start here for at least Toronto Tokyo mid. You see he's top of the last hits, and they're going to keep Miposhka nearby. If they can get this early tower, this is a big advantage. And look at the recognition. I mean, they want to bring Mirror in as well.
Yeah, they're forcing the issue. It's going to draw attention away from Collapse, and then Collapse is able to do this bottom. His funny shenanigans where he's cutting the creep wave behind the tier 2 and getting farm instead of having to lane versus Luna. So now they have to bring heroes mid to try to respond to tower push, and yeah, space for side lanes. That's Pretty good moves here from Spirit. Still seeing HR. They're not overreacting, though. Still leaving the Brewmaster top, leaving Luna bottom. Now they're sending the Weaver mid to fill up the bottle, but...
Radiant's courier has been
Will they hold
slain.
fire? I have a lot of stuns. Rabel's got to posture really defensively. There we go. Rabel's going to go in. Let's just the stun, set this up. Has a temp for Melody, and Rabel feels like he's got an opportunity now to jump over into the river. Blows up. Plays Skillgurn. Trades a life for both the position fours here, but I guess they've held the tower still.
I'm still just look at Collapse. He killed the Luna's courier. He just grabbed another creep wave behind tier 2. He's going to get another one as well. After a, like we said, tough lane, the moves that they made to pressure mid allow him to get all this space, because now no one can go to him. Queen can't go to him, Tree can't go to him, Weaver can't go to him. This is a cool approach here from Spirit. Sacrificing some elements, but then, you know, sacrificing some experience elements by just bringing your supports mid to push, but helping out your Sanking moves.
If he connects mid, this is even more plays that are coming out to enable the Collapse Sanking here. He's going to try and charge up the ultimate. Blinks away, and now it's actually Limitless that's looking to show himself as well. The threat of the Primal Split forced Team Spirit back, and now they have the Ward and the High Gun as well, so they do finally see Collapse. Running the Bow Strike should be long enough range to make it down to the river. Limitless feel like it's worth the ultimate though. Let's see if that's going to be the case. They can continue chasing. He's going to do it as best as he can to disrupt this, but it's not enough. As Limitless rotations able to get the kill and Collapse and, you know, further help this defense.
Putting him down while he's right down, tipping him. Or Sanking very strong.
Approach no more.
I mean, it's going to be the mind game. This is a TI winner
course.
here. And Hellraisers, I mean, they're feeling themselves. See
For
Collapse struggling?
They kept the tower up.
Put it further. Yeah.
Tower, the tier 1, like the emphasis that Spirit did to get the tower, and it's still alive, and they have Tree, so it's going to start getting healed up, and now they killed the Sanking who was recovering. Like, that's a level 6 Sanking that you got the kill for, so nice big burst of XP. Again, though, mid, really trying to force the issue because they don't want Tree to heal it.
Glyph as well. I mean, they've delayed long enough for Glyph to be back up, and now
Watson's over.
Posturing, yeah.
And I think it's, you were mentioning how, like, you know, Limitless, he didn't use the ult last time. So he still has it if he wants to set up on mid if they overcommit.
Just the importance that's going on. We always see it though versus Tree and Protector. Like, this is a hero that really wants these towers to survive for as long as possible, with just the map control that it's able to provide. Running to the bug though, and this is the power of the Bane. To get that 9-man with Toronto Tokyo stepping as well. They might be forced to TP Limitless in now, but he doesn't have a lot of mana to play with, so finally they're able to brute force his tower down. Oh, it's one to the Rabel are able to change their mind. It's a Sonic Wave connecting onto 2. Toronto Tokyo will take a spill. They're now eyeing up with Postcro as well, and Rabel's got the blink, max out Scream, so a lot of burst potential, but Soul's really thinking of taking the objective. Watson's got maxed out Lunar Blessing.
The Dyer's hide.
What's going on? Which is like 5 minutes. Just focusing mid.
I think it's just like they like these lanes just got weird, right? It's like Brew even doesn't want, like, Limitless didn't want to lane top either. You see his last hits, like he's kind of just been kind of like running around because he can't lane versus Monkey King. Sanking couldn't lane bottom, so it's just been these like the switching up of lanes because people couldn't lane versus each other. And Collapse now has Blink already at 11 minutes, even though he had that rough lane. And they're still looking to posture on these towers. Tokyo hitting it again. Supports have hit 6 now on HR. We do have a root available.
We do not have a TP on Limitless though.
No.
It might be coming out on the courier, but
Tower's dying.
make a play. Can't keep losing these T1 towers as early as what you are. Also setting up top lane with Poshka. The level 6 is going to use it on Limitless, recognizing Rabel doesn't have a way to cancel the Fiend's Grip. So look to burst down the Brewmaster, and now they're turning to Rabel next. Well, they've already used all their stuns, so Rabel should be able to blink away. He's going to go no. Nice read.
They will be able to keep the bottom tower. But yeah, this is so looking at things, like they don't really have great ways to reach. Tokyo is playing so aggressive on these towers. If you look at the lineup from HR, they have no ways to reach to get on top of him till like Blink Dagger Brew, and he's not even going it. So I feel like we're going to see this for quite a long time of them being able to posture like over aggressive, you could say.
They're running on the side center. Collapse is going to look to reveal the blink. Epicenter dropped as well, and the top of the net worth here is gonna end up going down. Nemesis looking to connect. The rest of Radiant sweeping on over to the area as well. We've got our first split of the game, and it looks like Collapse will be the sacrifice here. They're still posturing behind, but the Sonic Blade drop. Now they won't have this burst potential for a further team fight to break out. Shadow look to charge up the Wukongs, aiming towards the Queen of Pain.
Oh my
cancel out the life away. Getting rid of the position too. Now Limitless is... Oh, this was a proper split. Miro, I mean, that's just a cherry on top. They probably get the kill as well, but... And now let's see if they want to smoke afterwards, having this primal split on Miro. They're still chasing though. Gotta put this Boundless Strike up shortly. Telekinesis ready as well. Limitless is pretty goddamn speedy though, with the help of the Drunken Brawler. But you already recognize, I mean, Radiant, they use it. Oh, two heroes are showing bottom.
They split?
And yeah, Miro, he's forced to use. He's like, alright, I may as well, Brewmaster. You've taken too long to get this kill. He's still wasting so much time. The fact that Limitless is still alive, he's even juking through the tree line. Not into the post though. Gets in range and finally cuts away the life. But that was quite the space created.
I get to hit tower. Oh, I'm very surprised he actually gave up. The Drunken Brawler, he's a bit slow. And an overextended fight. Hellraisers, they tried to chase out for these kills because they lost their carry and they ended up losing pretty big on it on that chase out.
How does this game look with a really farmed Luna? Like, do you feel like Watson is able to carry Hellraisers like we often see from him?
It looks a lot harder into what he's up against, honestly, because he's up against Bane, like best anti-carry, and I was mentioning before how the reach on Hellraisers is limited. I don't really know how they're going to cancel Fiend's grip in a lot of these fights. After I saw that top hit situation, like, who's going to do it? Lucent Beam? It's going to have to be the Bruce split in most situations.
That's their ultimate. Yadora is just soloing Limitless at the moment. That's him. Hero's looking to connect. He doesn't have the primal split to really give him that bonus lives back there, so going to turn on the Monkey King. Trying to play the distance as Yadora. They've also got Collapse TPing in as well, so they've got to be careful with the drop. Pump faking the growth. He's able to land it now onto 3. The targeting down Yadora is finally going to end up falling. And now there's Watson showing up as well. The Eclipse solo onto Collapse, man. What a nightmare.
No way.
There's no way. Collapse trying to juke to the tree line. Rainbow's got the damage. Now the Fiend's grip is an issue though. Follow-up stun, but they still can't kill off Watson. Limitless able to protect him thanks to the Cyclone. Now they're charging forward as well. They're going to turn their attention to their own turret. And he'll end up going down. And now Mira, a potential 5-man wipe. There's Hellraisers. Well, not just yet. Mira still able to play his distance off this issue of the Sakuchi. The Hellraisers to turn that fight back around and keep Watson alive is huge.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful, Root. Malady maybe getting a little lucky. He tumblers toys in Roots as Collapse links him to stun. So he gets all 3 of them, and then they just are able to consecutively chase forward. Fiend's Grip comes out, but it's late. The Brewmaster split's there to cancel. They just envelop them completely, and that's where Luna thrives with your whole team with that aura. That was a very good fight. And I said, a little lucky with the Root, but it ends up being perfect. Spirit's the one that forced the fight into HR, and HR reacted nicely. And now Luna... As long as she doesn't get initial stunned. He's able to just get the BKB off, it's going to change a lot, so initiation is going to be huge for Spirit if they can get the initial stun on the Watson. Now, he does have BKB. Close game still, though, in that 1K.
And this is going to be the issue, though. I mean, Collapse with this blink is going to be working yours, it looks like. Lena shortly with BKB as well, so definitely Spirit is still starting to hit their timings, but it's a question of Hellraisers look to force a fight now. I mean, 900 gold away from Brew Ags, which might... Do you think you force a fight before that? He doesn't have level 2 ulti as well.
I didn't see what information they had yet on the Monkey King. I think they only saw the Ogre Axe, so they should know that he's getting close to BKB. but not quite there. Same for the Lina. So I think they enforce it with that information. I don't know what other information they had, but they have BKB and they know the enemy cores don't. So
Look at this. They're roshing. Easy. 4 points Lunar Blessing. I mean, the bugs as well at 3, but not getting that deep would maybe makes them consider
Radiant's bottom
otherwise.
tower is
I think that
fading
they don't know
fast.
this, but that was actually such a perfect opportunity for them because the BKBs are almost finished. What, 800 for the Monkey King? I think Lina's is coming out on the courier, but they would have had it there. They just, yeah. Of course, we have bird's eye view, so it makes it a lot easier to sort of make that call, but gonna look for something else instead. And they still do have a few moments before those BKBs are online from Spirit, so if they run into an engagement now, it can be okay, but in a few moments, that's gonna change when double
Radiant's
BKBs
bottom
are out.
tower is under attack. There is little
And it looks like
can
Dai
do.
is starting to connect. Trying to set up. They still have this high ground wall that Hellraiser's going to put some emphasis on, but Collapse.
Collapse.
Setting up for the epi. Finds that double initiation. Now 2 heroes get melted. Great start here for Collapses. Maybe they can now consider taking objective. Maybe more kills instead, though, Mira. Talking Limitless, they've got the sentry nearby, so they're going to spring the trap. There still is able to reset. Rainbow jumping on 4, but they're going to turn to deal with the Brewmaster. They burst him down before the split. This is a big advantage now for Spirit. It's Hellraisers, but you didn't even get the BKB off, and it wouldn't even matter as Maposhka lands the grip. They make it a 4-for-1.
Wow, that was, I mean, the Ward playing into everything as I said, Vision, playing a huge game, double stun, and then they just get chase kills. And now those BKBs are done, so, ooh, HR. And obviously they don't know, but probably kicking them, they're going to be kicking themselves afterwards when they watch that they had maybe an opportunity for Rush. Now, the BKBs are on light, fights are much more difficult. A lot of your damage is going to be negated. They just have easy access to your Luna now to get on top of her.
Always up. You've highlighted Maposhka and his vision emphasis throughout kind of his career, and we saw it last game. Of course, they weren't able to take it, but cheeky ward they placed behind the tier 1 tower mid, and now just look at the vision for Diet, like completely controlling the map. They've got so much information to play the second game off.
Sorry, looks like they're kind of losing control. Master 6,000 net worth. Even though they got that successful top fight quickly on its favor. They're playing around that ward still, just waiting for HR to move into it.
Not again. Oops.
There.
Hold on, Melody. They might look to still take this fight where we saw previously. They cannot play around where Spirit is set up for them. They have the recognition, the ward. They'll look to jump the Weaver. Not the best target to initiate on, but at least they don't now make it a numbers disadvantage.
They don't have a way to start fight. Their way to start fight is Bruce splits and runs in. They don't have a blink dagger. Spirit has multiple different ways to start the fight now with Collapse either jumping in as the Sand King or Yotaro just flies in and gives Vision as the monkey. The game is starting to get very difficult for HR very quickly.
And that truly
Radiant's
felt
middle
like
tower
it was
is
one of the
under attack.
big
It will
factors of why
fall like a
Hellraisers could
ripe
take game 1.
apple.
Of course, the team
Radiant's
fight,
courier has
but
been
you had the
slain.
Mars, you had the Mag as well to start fights, and now it's just completely
Radiant's
different. Like, you don't have that ease of execution. And we see how the game's just so much easier for Team Spirit to play. They are smoked up, though, looking to move towards a triangle.
Let's
Quick
get the jump
fingers from
off.
Yatoro. Goes.
Dyer's bottom
Lucas
tower
still
hopes
looking to
for
connect
aid.
though, but Collapse as well is able to blink away before the earn tick, and I mean Spirit. All of a sudden this net worth lead is just ballooned up to 6,000.
It's just HR running around trying to catch anything, but they just don't have the catch without the blink. I see the tree is also working for it. He's far though, like 900 gold. Brewmaster has to finish Ags.
Able?
I think they're gonna get caught on the retreat.
Timing was so close. Where is he, Roche? I don't know.
This is so scary for HR. Like they have no way to jump. They're gonna get jumped.
So did you look to play the stall game? Maybe get enough items to tank up, waste the initiation of Team Spirit, and then play off the back of like the overcommitment?
I think they finishes Brew Ags. He's got it now. And then you just initiate with the Brew, just running in with his Brewlings and giving information for the team. And then the secondary Brew split is the one where it's more about like splitting up the fight and actually controlling heroes. But even then, it's awkward and it feels forced. I feel like they're just running into Spirit's hands and Spirit's like, okay, thank you. You know, you just walked into tanking and a BKB Lina.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Tries
attack.
to get the Sentry, but Gilga's to the high ground. I have a really good ward as well. We're able to see the position of the Melody, but oh, Brew Gets the ult
it off.
off. They cut down the tree, the Monkey King as well. So now Watson's going to move towards the area. Yadaru's in trouble. Will still get the ulti with the bonus armor. Looks like it will not matter. Simultaneously, Miposhka drops and they're looking for more.
Did Tokyo cut his tree?
No, Limitless did. I don't know how, actually.
I think didn't he just light strike it? I think he just stunned the tree. I gotta be
okay,
honest.
maybe.
I think Tokyo may have stunned him out of his own. I'd have to re-see it because I caught the end of it, but that okay changes things. BKB was popped, Wukong's command was popped, and Monkey King dies. And now
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That is milliseconds off being a different fight, though. Like, if Sand King gets the Burrow Strike on Limitless, then who knows how different that could be. They still want to take the fight, though. Limitless has another split. Flash charging up the MP. They're all there's the split, but the Luna's still in trouble. BKB on cooldown, but the Aegis picked up from Rabel. They stole the Sonic Wave, so it's enough to deal with the first slide. Collapse onto the backline, but they've got the vision. Sand King's in trouble. Get the control, though. Collapse able to blink away. Still the primal split, being the nuisance, but Dire all respawned. No casualties except Roshan.
I still think as Hellraisers, you have to be so happy these last few moments. I actually thought this game was going to spiral out of control because no initiation and they were building up that lead. It's like 5k, 8k, 9k almost gold lead. Yutaro jumping in, dying, gives them the Roche now for HR and gives them time to get those initiating items. They have Blink on Tree now. They have a gem. They have multiple different ways to start fights now and maybe things have changed. Still, 5k lead, but...
They just rolled the clip back, and yet
Radiant's bottom tower
like
is under
DLC
attack.
on the tree.
There is little it
With
can
that previous
do.
fight by the Ready Triangle,
Top
so
tower is under attack.
Yeah.
ends in that sequence of events. And now Hellraisers, like you said, I mean that game could have blown right out of control if Spirit were able to get the first Roshan.
Dire's
And
top tower is feeling
it's still
its
looking difficult. Things have
mortality.
been just working for Hellraisers. I feel like
Radiant's
if
bottom
things haven't been
tower is
going
under
perfectly,
attack.
then they don't take these fights.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Dire's top tower
I think the game is still in a state where it's very difficult. Your Brew is still quite behind. He still has his double splits, which is 90% of his entire hero, but Monkey King is down.
Regeneration.
No, if Limitless can get this kill. First split used. It's like, collapse. Good one. Just pop the ulti. We're happy with that. Back to farming we go. Of course, the Aegis advantage completely nullified.
And he did keep the Sonic Wave, I believe, right? Yeah, so Mira, he used it last fight, but he did hang on to it. He could have stolen something
Dire's
else.
top tower is
That
under
again in 10
attack.
seconds for Burst.
Money to burn.
And they have Blink as well. That actually could be pretty huge versus like Luna. Relatively.
Dire's top tower is under attack. It
Also,
fights for
we
its
saw how
life.
Hellraisers were kind of just running around the map like headless chooks, and they smoked up, weren't able to find a couple of fights. Yoga did buy a gem, I think, before that Roche fight.
He did.
So they had enough. They were like, okay, obviously Raposhka's beating us in the Vision battle. We just have to go for this early gem and try and get some control back. Collapse gonna jump once again. This time they'll have the chain control. No BKB. Spirit, what a read that someone was gonna come farm this bottom side. Toronto, Tokyo joins with the boots of travel. And now you've got a dead Luna. Man, they're sieging high ground.
Ripe apple.
Too. Going for the Lincolns. And I think this is one thing we're talking about, like when we always mention stuns, right? Control inside of team fights. Everybody on the side of Spirit has a stun. Almost nobody on the side of HR has stuns, so it's much more difficult for them to set up these side plays. For Spirit, like that just came naturally. They saw a hero, everyone clicked their spells on him and killed him. On HR, it's gonna have to be much more complicated for them to ever set up like that. They don't have an Orchid on Rebel either. Like he's got his BKB and his Kaya Sanj, the usual, but that means he can't make plays on side lanes. He's great in team fights, but for pickoffs and stuff like that, it's non-existent.
I think even with BKB, it's going to be difficult though, because you are playing into the Bane. So,
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we just see how Miposhka's playing. One of his best heroes, making sure he sets up. Yadaro's got so much mobility. Lina with boots of travel. they can just instantly close the distance and follow up. So this is going to be really difficult now for Hellraisers just to stall this game out.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Absolutely.
attack.
And I think like this, you know, you're Limitless, your Brew, he's farming, he has to hit level 20 at some point relatively soon, because I think we're going to start seeing the Brewlings even dying to Monkey King plus Lina. They're starting to get to the point where they can just turn and hit them.
There is little it can
So
do.
I think the game is, sure, they got that rush, they got that very lucky team fight, I still want to say, but I think game state hasn't changed all that much. I think it's still a huge uphill battle.
Now you're going to the Ice Guardian for the Monkey King, one of the better ways to deal with the Luna. And then they've got another range core as well with the Queen of Pain. And so Lina, is she going Satanic next? Very, very far.
I'd imagine.
On
Dyer's
Tokyo.
top tower
Playing
is under
versus Treant
attack.
Protector,
It
BKB
fights
Satanic
for
is
its
like
life.
the dream. It's the bread. It used to be your BKB Mantas, but now since Satanic does this spell, you can go your BKB Satanic and then you always have a flavor on Treant.
Underneath the Dire Ward, Melody's going to look to get rid of that though. Oh, fighting into a DD on Toronto Tokyo.
Radiant's middle
Not
tower
an
is
easy
under
task
attack.
at all.
It will fall like a ripe apple.
I think Yadara can just give them a little bit of information. If he keeps jumping forward, he might see Rabel shortly.
Collapse has an E-Blade.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, what do you feel like this E-Blade does? Is it just a quick burst? Because it's not really great defensively. Like, there's a lot of magic damage on Hellraisers.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Gonna look to start. Rabel jumps in as well, but just going to melt through the Queen of Pain without the opportunity to pop the BKB. It's looking like a free fight for Watson, though. He's trying to veer his attention to the backline, but he actually dying. BKB TP out is short to Tokyo. He doesn't have enough damage, so Luna will make it away, but the rest of the Hellraisers, they're in trouble. And they're trying to deal with Limitless second boost, but they should easily be able to go through it. No escape for the crew. We just see team spirit. This game, the team fight is just too much to fear.
Yeah, that says it all, right? That was also an insane jump from Rebel, I have to say. The blink forward into everybody. He just dies. He didn't really get almost anything off. You got to think initially stunned. And that's like, I feel like that's kind of what we saw building up for a while, though. I feel like that actually should have happened earlier. And I feel like Asia got really lucky when the Monkey King tree got cut. This felt like it was inevitable.
Radiant's middle tower is losing its
Should get another
foundation.
pick off onto Gilgo in the lane. Observer Sentry dropped and really played for Mira and Toronto Tokyo. And
Radiant's top tower is under
13,000 net
attack.
worth lead in this game. Starting to really get out of balance here for Hellraisers.
I think that's probably the worst place I could see
Tower
them ever
has
take.
fallen. There is steady
Inside of
loss.
trees,
Tower is
versus
under
sinking and
attack.
movement.
It shall encroach no more.
That was, yeah, devastating, really.
I foresee the
They
Radiant's
lose their
top
gem
tower
too.
falling
Full
short.
control gone. 14k lead.
I'll take your tribute.
I'm sure it's like 80, 90, or 90% win probability here.
Radiant's top tower is under
89%.
attack.
It's looking grim. I mean, with Roshan
Regeneration.
soon to be up as well, this is just that next objective that Spirit are waiting for. They've got a lot of level timing as well. I mean, all three of their cores above the 20, so Collapse has got more stun lock with the 8.8 second cooldown Burrow Strike, and
They can't kill any of
cores
these. They can't kill any of the cores fast enough before they get something off now. Collapse will get his Yules or his E-Blade off unless he somehow gets his tree cut. Or sorry, Yotaro will get his BKB off unless he gets his tree cut off. He's 3k HP. Collapse will get Yules off very likely unless he's completely isolated. Like, yeah, the fights are getting too hard with their limited stuns, as we kind of thought might happen.
Double Smirk is coming though. Again connects. The rest of Hellraisers is actually going to look to push to the northern side. If they jump in, if they can get rid of Limitless, that's a key component through the team fight, and they'll do so with ease.
Watson can't
Now
run.
the rest of Hellraisers are just trying to beeline out of the area. Turn it back around potentially. Jumping from Rabel, the burst is not enough. It's Watson's on the outskirts. They're targeting Yadara down with the BKB on cooldown, but still, Team Spirit, they control the higher gun with ease. Now they've still got more ability to change forward for more. Knowing the BKB is on cooldown, I mean, there's no escape for the Luna. Maybe you can get a kill on Sand King, but even then, you're unable to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a game 3 as Team Spirit. Strong showing from them.
Victory.
Strong showing and definitely a strong, clear understanding of like the lineup that they're playing against, right? I think last game maybe they just got really caught off